Well, Nikon ZF, 6 months later. The question is, am I leaving Fuji? So I've been having this shooting with this camera for the last 6 months. I've shot everything, from travel, events, weddings, everything, editorials, everything that you can think about. Yeah, so I wanted to shoot all these things before I give my opinion on this camera. So yeah, if you are someone who are hesitating before or between Fujifilm and Nikon, this is probably the video for you. I'm gonna say that for my work, I do prefer using a Nikon camera, but I still love Fuji for many other reasons that I'll explain towards the video. So first of all, what is this camera for? So if you like shooting like events, you love traveling, you do a bit of street photography, you do some commercial job, you do some weddings, everything can be done with this camera. And not saying that it cannot be done with the X-T4, but I'm just saying that it's a very versatile and overall camera, and it also does very, very good videos. I'm not going to go through specs here because there's like 1,000. This camera has been out for like 2-3 years now even. And there's tons of video out there talking about the specs. It's more the user experience that I want to discuss here from someone who's been using Fuji for a long time. So in terms of image quality, I prefer the Nikon because it's a full frame camera, and it's not about being arrogant about full frame versus APS-C. I don't want to get into that debate, but it's just like I do a lot of events, and in low light there's no brainer. Like it's night and day. It's not like night and day, but you can definitely tell the difference. I'm gonna put some image up on the screen now. If I zoomed in, yeah, you can see that actually the X-T4 is quite noisy compared to the clinical look of the Nikon. And yeah, I didn't realize that when I was shooting only on Fuji, but now I can tell, when I look at the picture side by side, I can tell the difference. But the thing is, only if you're a photographer, you're gonna start zooming in at 400%, like the client doesn't do that. They don't zoom in at 400%. So you don't have an issue there. But because I'm a perfectionist, now that I know, now that I know better, we say no better. No, it's not, I don't really want to say that because I love my Fujifilm camera. But now that I can see the difference and I want the quality of my work to be outstanding, I can't go back like just in different scenario. In the daytime, yes, Fuji and Nikon are pretty much equal, I would say. But at night, it's very important when you shoot weddings, low light event, and not using a flash, then yes, full frame is better. If you use a flash, then the debate is out of the question. Or if you shoot monochrome, the noise resistance in monochrome is much better. Also, I feel like the shadows are richer in this camera. And you can also, sometimes I overexpose into my highlight, and it's very easy to save when I shoot with this camera, because sometimes when I travel, I shoot in really sunny places, or sometimes in London you have ever-changing weather. Like I found this camera was really helpful in those scenarios. Autofocus. So again, in low light event, this camera sees much better for that. So it's like there's no brainer. The autofocus is sticky. Even people are criticizing Nikon for autofocus. I never had a problem with Nikon for its autofocus. And with X-T4, I manage actually to walk around it. No, to walk. to walk around it, and to have no issue with the autofocus, because there's a guy I follow called Pascal Bazel that is very helpful with Fuji advice, and said that if you want the tracking to be accurate, you have to remove the eye detection, just do face detection, And when I followed that advice, the autofocus on the Fujifilm was much better and stickier. But here, I never had an issue with that. And I don't do fast-paced thing. When I do video, it's just static like this, or very static shot, nothing. I'm not filming sport or things like that, like fast-paced things. So I probably didn't test it to the max, but for my use case, I feel like the autofocus is better here, but also it didn't really have much of an issue with a Fuji camera. And the other thing I forgot to add earlier is like this camera in low light. I was talking about low light earlier, but this camera in low light, you can go up to 12,000 ISO. Like I'm showing this picture here. I was taking pictures of friend around the fire, and the ISO was super high, like 12,000 something. And look at it, the image is super clean. I will never be able to do that with the X-T4. So that's another way. And also autofocus and low light combined in these scenarios, I had a clean image that is that I can use. Also when I'm filming, the problem I have with the X-T4 in terms of autofocus is, when I want to change the focal plane, like panning in, panning out, dolly in, dolly in and out. Sorry, like I'm feeling it. Dolly in, dolly out. Sometimes with the X-T4, it's like trying to refocus, while the Nikon doesn't do that. It's like very sticky, very smooth. And when you do this kind of movement, so it's not hunting, but also maybe it depends on the lens that I was using. I don't know. Is most of this thing that people are criticizing online is 100% user error. Is most of the time it's not the camera. Is it you that cannot use the camera properly? So I'm very aware about this issue. And in terms of lenses, what lenses that I use with my Nikon? So I mostly use the Tamron for events. I use this Tamron 28-75. I don't really like it, I will say, because at 2.8 is a 2.8 all the way, so that's a good thing. But to be honest, at 2.8 the lens is a bit soft. And again, I'm the one going in the picture, zooming in like a mad woman, which I shouldn't be doing. But if you like sharpness, maybe this is not the lens for you. So I think I'm going to invest in a Nikon 24-120 f4, because it's smaller, and also in low light, if I use the flash anyway, so I don't need a 2.8 lens. Like I think literally I don't need it. For the things that I do, I don't need it. F4 for me is enough for now, and then when I grow a bit more into the photography business, I will invest in maybe a 2.8 Nikon or fast primes. You can invest in a 50-1.8 or 24-1.8. Nikon has different ranges of prime lenses that you can invest in. But for a zoom lens, I think f4 is more than enough, even for events. If you have an event that you don't want to use the flash for, and in low light, I recommend just get a prime lens. You don't need to be zooming around on the dance floor. This is actually not what I do. So when I'm on the dance floor, I use this one, the 40 f2, because that's the best lens I've been using for event. It's so light, so easy to walk around. I put a little flash here. I have a Godox Pro for like a big event, but for a small event, I have another flash that is smaller that I'll review in another video. And just this setup like this, all day, all night, like shooting the event, and it's quite enjoyable, I would say, because with this lens, it fits very well with the Nikon ZF, but it's a bit front heavy sometimes, and so it's tiring to be working with that all night long. And for travel as well, I don't like to travel. I don't like cumbersome things. So it's not what I will take. So for travel, I will definitely always take Fujifilm. It's much better. It's lighter. And it's easy to walk around because the lens is really small. For example, here is the 56 from Viltrox that I use sometimes. I have another Sigma zoom lens that I forgot to bring here. But yeah, Fujifilm for travel is like my favorite because it's also during the day and I don't have anything to complain about. Actually, my best pictures. I've been shooting with Fuji for the last 6 or 7 years, right? And I never had a problem with, or nobody ever complained about my pictures. I have been doing brand deals with it. I did a campaign, I shot campaign with the X-T4. So it's all about you as a photographer rather than the tool that you use. But they obviously are tools that helps you to expand your offering and make your life easier. The other lens that I have with the Nikon ZF is the 28 2.8. Cheap, very cheap, like 200 pounds, but I do not like that lens. But I'm not gonna sell it because it was so cheap, so I'm not making any money selling it. I will make the effort to actually work with my limitation and challenge myself to go out and shoot only monochrome with this lens. Then you have a very fancy black and white button in this camera that I don't really make use of. I used it a bit the other day. I didn't take anything like spectacular with it. I was just testing it. But I'm gonna go out with you in one of the next videos. We're gonna go out together around London and shoot only black and white with the 28 millimeters because it brings a couple of limitations and this is the way you learn. 28 is a very hard focal lens, I would say, because there's too many things coming in the frame. So you think more. Removing color and shooting only black and white also challenges you to think more about your composition and remove the distraction of color. So that's something I really want to do because I want to make use of this lens. What I don't like about it, I feel like there's something missing with this lens. I don't know, maybe it's me, I don't know, but there's a lot of chromatic aberration to start with. And it's very soft. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's my copy or something. I don't know. I really don't like this lens. But for video, it's great. I used it to take a few video clips. I cannot show you the video clips because what happened is like I saved, that's another point that I'm going to talk about later when I talk about the downside of this camera. I shot the video on the mini SD card. And sometimes I use that SD card as well to back up my pictures. So I was shooting a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and then, no, a month ago or something. And they were obviously the backup, and I edited the wedding, sent it to the client, and then backed up the wedding into the computer. And then I was like, oh, why do I still have this wedding picture on this camera? And then formatted the memory card, and I completely forgot that I was in India, Sri Lanka, and I had like some video footage in here, and I completely forgot about it. So yeah, that's annoying. I lost on that. And yeah, so in terms of ergonomic, I would say that I've been given this camera. Yeah, actually, a bit of a story. Why did I get this camera? Should probably have told you in the beginning, but I received this camera for my birthday from my friends. So they put some money together to because they like my photography, so they wanted to encourage me to continue taking pictures. So that was a gift from friends for my birthday. So yes, I was not trying to leave Fuji by choice. It's just like an happenstance and a beautiful happenstance. And yeah, it comes with this wooden grip, and I wouldn't see myself using it without it because the camera is very, very heavy. And also, I'm so used to shoot manually with Fuji and try to change button up here. And luckily, there's been a firmware update about changing the ISO setting. But yeah, it was a bit of a learning curve. The menu is incredibly complicated. I don't know why they need it to be complicated. And I missed my Fuji X-T4 front button. Like, I know this front, like, you know, you can press here, you can press at the back there. You have the joystick. This one doesn't have a joystick. So when you want to refocus, you have to like do it with the arrows and stuff. Like it's like joystick is the best. So I will say Fujifilm is much more customizable than the Nikon ZF, and you also have 2 SD card slots, so that's good. In the Nikon you have, but it's like one is a normal SD card and the other one is micro SD. I never had a problem with it because I just use it as a backup. But I can understand that for some people, that's a bit of an issue. So in terms of that, like, it's a big win for the X-T4 on that. And I also use a grip on the X-T4, but it's just like much lighter, much better to walk around. And yeah, to walk around all day with the X-T4 is much better than to walk around all day with the ZF. So I would say that the X-T4 wins in terms of ergonomic compared to Nikon ZF. Is you can use it for event, but you have to make sure that you learn the camera first before going into professional jobs with it. I felt like I could get a hang pretty quickly of the X-T4, which is not the case. Yeah, with the ZF, it's a bit of a learning curve, I would say, if you get this camera, and it's very hefty, like wow, crazy. So. Yes, I would say that the downside is like, yeah, I wouldn't use. I used it in India when I was traveling because I wanted to experience traveling with my camera. But I don't know. Even to do street photography, it's just heavy. I don't like heavy. I don't like cumbersome stuff. So for me, I wouldn't call it a travel camera per se. I know you can travel with it. People do travel with it, and the advantage maybe of traveling with it is like it looks like a retro camera, so it doesn't look like anything that is expensive. While people, like when I have my Fuji, they kind of point at it, but this one they actually didn't. It's quite inconspicuous in that way, but it's a bit, yeah, I would say it's a bit cumbersome to work with it all day. So the fair verdict is what is my favorite camera between the two? Well, because I'm working and I'm making money out of photography, I would say the Nikon ZF is the best contender for that. But I'm not like complaining about Fuji in terms of using it for pro work, because I've been using it and I had never had any problems. But it's only because I do event and low light, and I need a bit of more speed, that I think that Nikon is better in that way for the way I use it professionally. But if I was just a hobbyist and just traveling around the world and taking pictures, it will always be Fuji. And that's the reason why I'm actually not leaving Fuji. I'm staying with Fuji. I might get another camera, maybe a little bit of an upgrade, because I'm a bit tired of the X-T4. But I will never leave Fuji. Like, the colors that comes out of this camera is just unbelievable. The JPEGs are the best. Nikon is really good for skin tones. That's why they use Nikon in fashion, because it's really like accurate to the skin tone, and the colors accuracy is very good. And also, if you like editing, what I do to match profile between Nikon and Fuji is I just use Adobe Color, and then on top of that I do put my editing style on it. But with Fuji, you actually don't need to edit, because you have different recipes to which you can add contrast and play a bit with the curve, and then it's done. One with Nikon, the profile they have, it's not really something that I like personally. So if you want to learn a bit more about editing, I would say to use another system, because Fujifilm just makes your life easier. Even when you film, you just put it in Classic Chrome or Eterna. It's just like beautiful. That's why I'm saying I'm not gonna lose Fuji. I'm not gonna leave Fuji for that reason. I did some filming with the Nikon. The Nikon, it was not really to my taste. You still have to color grade it, which I don't want to be doing. So yeah. So if you that's the fair verdict for me, is Nikon for myself. But for you, if I have a final verdict, if you do event, you shoot people at fast pace. You need reliable autofocus. You do weddings, I will go for Nikon. If you just travel around, do street photography, then I will definitely recommend Fuji. And also, if you're a professional, I'm not saying that you cannot use it professionally. All my paid jobs up until December 2025 were all shot on Fuji. So there's nothing to complain about Fuji. So yeah, that's the review of my 6 months with the Nikon ZF as a Fuji user. So I don't know if I helped you to decide between the two, but I just wanted to give like a realistic view of what people say about camera and stuff like that, and real use case scenarios. So I will never say that Nikon ZF is a camera that made me leave Fuji, because that's not true at all. But yeah, but I actually have another camera that is arriving. I don't know why I did that. It's just another one bite the dust, I guess. Yeah, you'll see in the next video, in a few next video, which one is it. But maybe that was a bit silly, but it is what it is. So I hope you subscribe so you can see that. And as always, thanks for watching, and live inspired. Bye.